All right. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say that this is a lovely day in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and will rest therein. I want to cover something I spoke on yesterday. Um, and I need to get back to that because it was a topic that was important. Uh, it was Matthew's 25, and the Spirit of the Most High was dealing with me regarding Matthew's 25, something that I covered. He wanted me to go back and speak on something. We're in Matthew's 25, Shalom and Shalom. Matthew's 25, and it was in uh, verse 35. I'm just going to cover that a little bit, but I will say this is a lovely day in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. I don't know if I'm going to have problems on line or not. It's a lot of lightning and thundering taking place at this time. But if the Most High says and is willing, we'll do this thing. So I wanted to cover today Matthew's 25 and verse 35 because I spoke on uh, um, Matthew's 25 and 35. Matter of fact, I started in 33, but I want to cover something that the Most High gave me last night. And I was attacked last night for some reason or another. I mean, sick. I don't know what was going on or how it took. It took place like at 2 or 3 in the morning, somewhere in between that time. And I remember getting up out of the bed and just feeling so sick. I had a headache. I was sore. My body was sore. And my stomach was feeling sick. And I was like, now, where is this coming from? First thing I did was I sprayed my Lysol and set up under it. It's something that I do. And then I said, I got to get my Adlib because there's a mystery in the medicine that's called Adlib. Not Advil, but Adlib. And what I do is I got a lot of it stored away because for the last, say, 5 or 6 years, I learned something special about it. And it's just so funny when my daughter had told me, Mama, guess what medicine, when the pandemic was this so-called virus that was out, my daughter said, Mama, you should hear on the news the medicine they say do not take. I said, what was that? Adlib. To me, that was funny because I'm like, what? Why is it that you can't take Adlib? And that's the only thing that I would advise each and every last one of you to store away. Migraine, Excedrin migraine, and Adlib. If you are storing things away, that would be something that's very important to put away. I got a lot of it stored away. So I took the 4 Adlib and instant, everything that went on with me was boom, gone. Because it works like that. Say for instance, you have a cold or you feeling sick. I don't care if it's your stomach, your head, your tooth, your body. It's just these Adlib. I pop 4. When it's like this, I pop 4. Say for instance, I feel a sore throat coming on, or I feel a sniffle where I feel like I'm coming down with something, I pop them 4 at leave, wait 8 hours, pop another 4. If it's still there, pop another 4 and stop after 8 hours. So getting 12 at leave into my body within a 24-hour time span, it works very well. Most of the time, I don't have to go to that third stage, which is the last 4 at leave. It normally bumps out the first stage, but if it doesn't, I take the second one, and it's normally that's it. So I've always told my children, make sure they keep, even when my son left to go camp, I made sure I bought him a big bottle of at leave, because I told him, what go on? Take 4, wait 6 to 8 hours. I say 8 hours. Take another 4, wait another 8 hours, take another 4. And it's best to take it with warm water so it can get straight to your system. And that's what the warm water do. It helps it to disperse into your body fast. So I will say that the Most High was dealing with me last night. This was before. No. I woke up later in the early morning hours, but he was dealing with me that night, last night, like 11:30 or 12 o'clock, when he was dealing with me on Matthews 25. I had to cover something. Matthews 25 and verse 35. And it reads, "For I was hungry, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in." Okay. "Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visit me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me." Okay, listen to this here. Then shall the righteous, notice that, the righteous answer him, saying, "Lord, when saw me thee and hungered and fed thee?" This is 37. "Or thirst and gave thee drink?" See, the righteous didn't understand. Even while they're standing in glory, they still didn't understand what love was. See, man took love and he made it a sick thing. Okay? But the love out of the definition of Yah is to give and gave. Here, they didn't know that. All this time, he's telling them what they gave him, what was given to him, and how they gave their time to visit, you see. And when they were sick, they did what? They gave him a visit. See, what he was telling them, you showed me love. You see, that's what Yah was telling them. You showed me love. That's the word that we as people tend to just take lightly and make it a special word, meaning, oh, I want him to love me, and I want her to love me, or I love my children, and I love my dog. Everybody want to use that word, but they don't understand the true definition before heaven and earth was created was to give and gave. Everything Yah did was connected to what he gave and he was given to us. He gave us life, y'all. He gave us his breath. It didn't say he gave us love. When he said he breathed the breath and man became a living spirit, he's saying he gave you something. Not only did he give you his breath, he gave you his image. You see, everything is connected to that give and gave, to where we don't understand, even to the point when they stood before him. And this is what the Spirit was talking to me last night about. He said, look how they were saying, in 37, Matthew 25 and 37. Then shall the righteous, see, the righteous don't even know the difference between the love of Yah is defined as give and gave. They didn't know that. See, and they were doing just that. They were righteous. Okay. And being righteous is what Yah hold on to regarding who they are and how they did they display their communication to the Most High by giving and gave. You see? And we're thinking that this love, is something that we must have, or we must get someone to go love us, or we need to be loved. But no. You need to be given, gave, or give. And if you really think about it, would you prefer a man to love you in the sick way that human loves, or would you prefer the give and gave that the Most High call love? You would prefer to give and gave. Why? Because the man would give you himself. Non-stop. You know what I'm saying? He will give you his time. He will give you himself. He will give you his best. He will give you his all without losing nothing himself. These people didn't lose nothing. And then they began to ask the Most High, the righteous one that was on the right side. They was beginning to ask him, wait a minute now, when did we do these good things, these deeds? He said, you done it. When you done it unto the least of them, you have done it unto me. See, it was about showing an action and performing, giving and gave during the time they walked, not knowing that it was what Yah calls give and gave. It is the true meaning of love. So that's why they didn't know that, because here today, I'm going to tell y'all something. Dig into that biblical word and you'll find out that Yah speaks of mysteries, but it's only given to those in which he has prepared it for. It's certain ones Yah give this mystery to, because even with Peter, when Jesus asked, Yeshua asked the disciple, who do I say? At that moment, who I am. They didn't say. But Peter was able to give the correct answer. Okay? So that's the same. Once we understand that love is just, I ain't gonna say it's just, it's more than that. It's what Yah look for in us. And it's not just materialistic things. It's our conversation. See, we think that we can't show this here godly love. I put it like that, without giving somebody something or feeding, I'm not feeding, but doing certain things, being there for them, giving them what they want, doing what they want you to do. That's not it. That's not it. It's founded in give and gave and giving. You see? So those are the true definition of Yah. His way of feeling for us is give, gave, and give it. That's it. While we're sitting trying to master how to love him, you can't do it. We're sitting trying to figure out how can we love him. We want to love him. You can't do nothing to make yourself think that you can love on him and you can love him, because it can't be done. I don't know what's the deal with my live chat. It was doing that yesterday. It wasn't posting. I don't know what's going on, but I must continue. But I like that the Most High wanted me to go back, because what he's saying is when Yeshua was explaining how he put the goats on the left and the sheep on the right, notice the sheep wasn't sheep's. It was just one sheep. because we was founded under one sacrifice. We had came into one with Yeshua HaMashiach once we accepted. Okay, so now we are all one. So that's why he was saying this sheep. And but with the goats, he said goats with an S. Okay, but when he was telling them, for I was hungry and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, you gave me a drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. And in them, in the righteous ones, they said, when was that? Because see, who Yah is in you, in that righteousness, is a form of what we call love. But the definition of love cannot be defined by a word that man created. It has to be defined by Yah, who created all things. And how did he do it? He gave and he gave. You see, everything he did, it was what he gave us and what he was giving us. And he has gave and give us that define who he is. So they didn't know that because they had been all this time in righteous, not even knowing how to identify, because this is what this does is it shows you. I don't care what pastor, what bishop, what prophet, no, what more, what seer, what watchman, what evangelist, whoever. Okay, if they don't know what love that is defined in the eyes of man and in the definition of man is in Yah, they still lost without a cause. So when I get chastised by Yah, that will be one of the things always him trying to remind me, Deborah, they say they see, but they can't see. They say they hear, but they can't hear. Well, why would you say that, Deborah? When you go to Matthew 25, here they are in the midst of glory, saying, when did we do that? See, they didn't even know. So see how many, you see how heaven and earth going to pass away, but many are not going to even experience the true living Most High and what he stands for. Like Sister Deborah, I can sit here and talk all day long, but what he has given me, I'm going to tell you, I hold firm to. But it's not like it's 100, okay? Way below 100, way below 50%. But what he's given me, I hold firm to. But what I come to realize that he has given it to only certain ones. You see, that's why the mystery was given only to certain ones. But it is, I believe, without a doubt, it is a blessing on top of a blessing for someone that could come in the midst of people and tell them, what is it? Have they ever, first I would say, have you ever had an issue trying to define love in a relationship with somebody? The first one is the love with Yah. How can you define that love? How can you define the love that you think you have for Yah? When we tell you it, it's when you give him. Hallelujah. It's when you give him. Praise the mighty Yah. It's when you give him all your heart, soul, your spirit, mind, and strength. You give him those that already belong to him. But when you give it back, that's showing him what love is defined within him. You see, do you know how many people trying in the world? Millions of people are trying to master this word love and can't find it. Women are looking for men to love them. Men are looking for women to love them. They don't know where to look. They're searching in all the wrong places. A lot of them are looking for a way a person look, a way a person walk, a way a person talk, a way a person eat, the way a person, everything. A lot of them are looking for someone that's like unto them, that loves to do the things that they do. But isn't that sick love? Yes, it is. It really is. Because see, if you go back to the beginning, the way He created it. It was never said he created man and woman. And then when he brought Eve to Adam, he didn't say nothing about love. He didn't say a man would leave his mother and father and cling to the woman he loved or to the wife he loved. No, I'm telling y'all, because love don't have nothing to do with it. It's what we breed. We started it, and that's the way it's going to end, the way we created a fake understanding of what love is. When he handed her over, if you go read it, he gave her to him. And then he said, the man, this is how it's to go, is to leave his mother and his father and cleave to her. Why is it, if she was created for him and not him for her, why is he clinging to her? You know why? Y'all knew that no matter what she carries and what he carries, it's all based on his will. They were created to become one in the will of the Father. Y'all didn't say in the name of love. You don't hear very many, not matter of fact, you don't hear them saying when Abraham loved Sarah and that's why he chose Sarah. Oh no, you don't hear that word because honestly, it didn't exist. We built up on that. And that's why you see a man killing his wife, his girlfriend, his daughter, and his son. You see a woman killing her husband, her children, her mother, her aunt, her grandmother. You see, this is why. Because there's no such thing as love. You see, we got the wrong understanding. We think because these are our children, we are to love on them and they are to love us back. That's why he said he come to bring the sword between mother and daughter. What it means is I come to bring who I am between the two until they're able to come in one in me. So I bring that sword, the sword of the word, the sword of his right hand between the two to keep them distance in a way that's very powerful because they coming together, partying, drinking, whoremongering, and all kind of things, but not coming together in him. You see, women are loving their daughters more than they love him. Daughters are portraying to love their mothers more than they love him in this word called love. But what is missing? Something that we as a people who say that we are the people, we're the awakening. That's the number one problem. We don't know what defines the Father being our Father and we being his children. What defines him giving us mercy and grace? That word give. You see? Everything he does is connected to what he gave and give us. And we give him nothing in return. Nothing. Nothing. He said, give to your neighbors as thyself. That means if your neighbor come knocking on your door and asking you, do you have a loaf of bread? If you got a loaf of bread, and if you know that that's your bread, give it to your neighbor. That's why these righteous ones didn't know. Because it really was about giving and gave. And that's why our brothers are messed up from the floor up in their mindset. You notice they didn't say, not one male from the tribe of Judah ever speak on a man really having the definition of Yah in him toward his wife. They more so eager and in their own self understanding that she is nothing but a property. She is nothing but a someone that our ancestors, our forefathers in time past sold daughters, just like the slave master did. And they don't understand why Yah had to bring them to the land on the four corners of their captives. Because he said he's bringing them to a land that's like unto themselves, meaning the ways that they have in their whole lifestyle have been, I'm bringing you to a land like unto that. Why? Because he wanted the men to understand. This is how you look. This is how you walk. This is how you talk. But I'm not going to let you have the power over your oppressors. I'm going to let them have the power over you so that you can get the fullness of how ugly you are. And right today, you still hear men and women saying they bothering us. And what Yah say in Leviticus 26, what did he say? Now watch this here. He's not caught up in what we whining about. You know, he gave something to us so we can suffer that curse. So we can suffer in what he gave us to try to bring some clarity somewhere in us. You see, he said in what was that? Leviticus 26 and verse 29. He said, but let's go up to 28. He said, and ye shall perish among the heathens, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. Verse 19, and they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies' land, and also in the iniquity of your fathers shall they pine away with them. Now listen to this. What has happened is, and we're going to suffer great. That's why the judgment in the midst. If the people are on this platform not informing the nation of Israel that they are in that day of judgment of the Most High Yah, then the judgment is going to rest right in the center, and it ain't going nowhere. Somewhere, a people have to understand that the judgment is set there for a reason. None of them wants to believe that Yah is judging them right now because they feel that being in the land of their oppressor was enough. Only thing they can see right now is going to the promised land. But they didn't understand he's got to judge the whole house of Israel first. And if it comes to the point where, and this is what he explained it to me, and because they're not feeling my judgment, I don't know where that come from. He said, because they're not feeling his judgment, they ignoring his presence of correction. He's going to allow that judgment to sit in the midst of them. He's going to freeze every situation that has to do with the whole house of Israel until they're able to cry out that Yah is judging us this day. Because I thought it was really powerful when he said, Deborah, I'm letting the beast's right hand be in the midst of the judgment. And I'm like, woo. And then I sit here and I've gone over for the last week several females and several males teaching on this devil platform, denying what is in the midst of them. They still blaming the white man for everything. They don't understand. Wait a minute now, y'all. Wait a minute. Hold up now. The 400 years is over. Why are we still moaning and groaning? It's because we got the judgment of the Most High Yah sitting in the midst of us as a people. I sat here in the last 6 months telling y'all don't see these y'all people, what y'all people doing? Y'all don't see what they doing? Nobody recognize it. Nobody gives a rat's behind that you can't say what Biden, what Trump, what the people in this world world is doing if you cannot recognize the Father putting a judgment in the midst of your people. That's what he was saying to me in the car today. So the judgment's going to remain. And to the house of Israel, especially the tribe of Judah, recognize that the judgment of the right hand of the Father is in the midst of us. And he has allowed the beast's right hand to be in it. Because I see people on these devil platforms still talking about things that does not matter. I know they got to get to their subscribers. They try to reach a certain number by a certain time that they got planned here. I know that's the way they feed themselves and take care of themselves with the devil's chat on these devil platforms. Because I call it the devil's chat because you ain't giving nobody no food for their spirit. You're only giving them food for the world and the dirt of the world. So you pleasing the devil so he can give you a check. But I will say this. When the devil is done with you and you're no longer getting anything, I don't care where you at in the world, you're going to experience the judgment of the Most High Yah in the midst of the whole house of Israel. It's not going nowhere. I would prefer the judgment to move. You know, hey, okay, it's sort of here. It's in the middle. Let move, judgment. Come on out. Come on. Y'all said not so, Deborah. That judgment's going to stay there. And the beast right hand going to be all up in it. And till my people are able to look at their ugly self and say, Leviticus 26 and verse 40, if they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers, that's why the judgment is going to remain there. It's heavy. It's heavy. It ain't going nowhere, y'all. The problem I have is people are so content to bring you the dirt and the lowdown of the house of Israel, especially the tribe of Judah, and what they're doing, but refuse to get you to recognize, wait a minute, the judgment of Yah is upon us. We need to, what did he say? If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespasses, which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me. Verse 41, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humble. They can't share up enough. They can't, y'all. They can't. They be on this devil platform, video after video, because they can't keep humble enough. Because they trying to beat the devil's gold. They trying to reach goals, y'all, that has nothing to do with the Most High Yah, but do have something to do with the Most High Yah, because they don't know they are deceiving Yah's people. Y'all going one direction, they going in another. Why? Because they causing the people to go in another direction, and that's why the great falling away is at a highest. Because they are feeding the people the things that does not energize their spirit man to desire to walk behind Yah or in the midst of Yah. Laying your head on his bosom, letting him hear you and you hear him. They ain't gonna lead you in that direction. So people who continue to do that, they're drawing the great falling away to be greater than ever, because that's what this day is about, like no other. Okay, now as 41 said, and their hearts be humble, and then they accept the punishment of their iniquity. See, that's Sister Deborah sitting here telling you, accept the judgment. Accept the judgment. Oh, they ain't gonna do that. I already know that. So, but know that the judgment is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Y'all gonna let it sit amongst us for a while. So many are gonna be destroyed. Your own kind right today is going up against you in great numbers. Even on this devil platform, they gang banging against each other. They have no give and gave toward one another or with one another. And now if the righteous stand before Yah and say, when did I give you food? And when did I give you drink? They didn't know. When they showed their love for Yah in the word love, as the people on the platform here would understand, was give and gave. Give and gave. That's all he said. You gave, you give your time to visit me. You give your time to visit me in the prison. You gave your time. I was in the hospital sick, and the righteous were saying, but when did we do that? Because it's not what y'all think it is. It's what Yah created it to be. And because we don't find no place in us to want him just that much, we decide to settle for all these people on these platforms, their message, especially their opinion. And their opinion is not leading you to the bosom of the Most High Yah. The Most High Yah has a bosom. And there can you lay your head and know that he is all that answer. But you can't lay there because you got to get up the next morning to see what the next person is saying on YouTube, especially those that people have subscribed to over and over and over, but yet they're not giving you anything for your spirit. I had to send 2 messages to Honor and Humility, STL, to Malachi. Stop this nonsense, this gang banging on this platform. You are in a judgment and y'all gang banging. You're gang banging. And in his mind, I believe that you can have somebody around you so long that you call friend and ace and brother and all this and that, to the point where they vax you in a way you find your way back. You can't find your way back home. That's just like, let me set an example. You know how a woman can meet a guy and she find out that he likes to drink a lot. They together for 6 months. She realized he liked to drink a whole lot. So since she met him, she really liked him. So she began to drink as well. But her body take drinking different than his body. She did not know he's been drinking for 20 years. Okay. Here she is coming in the scene in a relationship and she wants to drink. Now that he drink, now she's getting hooked in a way that he has never. That's what I believe happened to Melly and Honor and Humility, STL. His name is Malachi. That is what has happened to him, because I'm like looking at him and I'm like saying, Yaki, then that's that man. He didn't put something on him to where he can't see clear, because in his mind, it's about eating healthy. He don't understand eating healthy mean Haki gets rich. See, that's what they don't understand. Eating healthy, and he's on here trying to defend what he believes and don't understand. Baby, this thing is bigger than what we take in our mouth. This thing is bigger than our health and healing. This is a spiritual warfare. And it's coming to break anybody that think that they can break. That come in and be your ace. Come in and be your brother, your everything, your sidekick, your everything. But when it's all said and done, High Key has always left Melly hanging. I followed them since I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Now watch Melly fall right in line with High Key, because every issue starts with High Key. When they left the elders, it started with High Key. Yaki. You see? Melly ain't never been the issue. He was a humble man, and he did pretty good with his teaching. But where he's at now is a distance from spirit and truth. He's to the point where he's talking about the Bible is contradicting itself. You can't do that because what you're saying is what Yah prophesies in the days, the great falling away. And what he's doing, he don't know it. You're bringing the great falling away to the forefront so they all can what? Fall away. Sister Deborah have always told you the Bible is smeared, but not to the point that the creator in heavens can't line that word up. That's why I didn't take their precepts. They line here and a little here. I never had to do that, you guys. I didn't have to ride on precepts and little here and a little there and a line here and a line there because I knew who the teacher was. When you know that you know that you know from the inside of who you are to the outside who the true teacher is, can't nobody say nothing to you outside of what Yah instilled in you. So as he's now Melly is just all over the place and he charging all the guys that has followed him throughout years and have been ace with him. And his talk is so gang banging. It's just crazy. Total different person, y'all. But where is Yaqui? Where Yaqui always at? He always start a fire right in front of Melly, which is his friend, and leave Melly right there in the midst of the fire. And Melly has gotten too blind and too ignorant and too embedded to where he can't see that Yaqui left your tail hanging, bro. And he's on YouTube trying to defend his argument about we should be eating healthy, we shouldn't be drinking, we shouldn't be smoking weed. Brother. These are things we shouldn't have never been doing. You're not bringing no new revelation that the biblical already didn't have. Y'all just turned around and took the word and walked therein according to the way you wanted to enjoy smoking dope, the way you wanted to enjoy drinking at the different feast days. I saw them out there doing it. And now you're trying to tell people it is not good for your health and you shouldn't be drinking it. Surely they're not supposed to be drinking it. But when you're saying that they're not supposed to be eating meat, wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. The only thing you need to, and I'm going to tell y'all, not just Melly, anybody on these platforms, the only thing they need to be teaching is teaching people right now how to seek the Most High Yah. And it ain't got nothing to do with food for the flesh. But they done turned this into a great big game banging. And Melly, he just don't understand. He's so far out there, I don't even think he's going to make it home. He's not going to make it to understanding that Yaqui set you on fire in the midst of yourself and you can't even see it. Because it's all about bringing Yaqui to wealth in Yaqui. Yaqui is a self-centered individual. He's motivated by what he can make. He's motivated by one thing. You either hear me, you do it the way I say do it, and it's the only way you can do it and be successful if the way you do it, if I say it and the way I say it. But see, what Melly didn't know that there was a bigger agenda with Yaqui, and that was to sell terms to people and get them eliminate meat and eat different things that Yaqui has opened his business to. He's trying to be like a Dr. Sabi. So he hooked onto that, and then he used his education where he went to college and learned about science. He went to all type of place where he reads all kind of Satanism books, witchcraft and voodoo, and he gets on the devil platform and tell you he has to read all that so he can be able to bring it back to you all. No, bro. I have always told that young man, you're working for the enemy. You're working for the enemy. Get away from Melly, but it's too late. Melly, in his mind, is really still that everybody is going up against him because it's about food and not drinking and not smoking weed. He's telling us not to do it and everybody getting mad at him. Oh, no, bro. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It has nothing to do with that. Any words that I would say to Melly has nothing to do with food. We should eat healthy. We shouldn't be smoking dope. We shouldn't be drinking alcohol. Okay, but what should we do? If those things you saying is more important than anything on the face of the earth, how is it we leaving Yah out? It's what we did, our forefathers and them did. Other gods. Yaqui wants to be a god. Yaqui ain't got that dark spot in the middle of his head for nothing. That's a mark. He's been marked. Yah has dealt with that young man, because that young man, he will fall in the midst of something he said and he'll come back and repent, telling everybody, y'all been dealing with me on this, and that's because that black mark is a mark. It's a sign. You are marked. Okay? That's what's going on with that situation. But what I'm saying is, where we're at, and the reason why I'm talking about Melly and Yaqui is because these were men who got away from the elders, and the elders, y'all, they was good teachers. Yes, funny. Had a good time just listening to all of them together. But when Yaqui got Melly to leave because of them not accepting Yaqui, same situation now. Now Melly out there trying to defend everything that Yaqui has embedded in his spirit, and he can't shake it. And he in his mind is everybody against him. But he's still saying, and what has happened is, I don't know if y'all knew this, and I know y'all don't. What has happened is the young man that came to my store, he was from North Carolina, him and his wife, they gave me about 6 sheets telling me about how to eat and eat healthy. What has happened, which the Hebrew Israelite movement did not know. What has happened? Something has creeped in their new awakening. Something has creeped in the Hebrew Israelite movement. And it's coming from their own nation. And the nation, it is dividing it into, it's already divided because all of them got different definition, different understanding, different genders. So what happened is the umbrella that they all under, they call that whole umbrella the Hebrew Israelite awakening. But yet in all, it's a movement. It's a cult. It's a religion to me. And it's like Catholics or no, it's like Christians having all Baptist, non-denomination, Pentecostal, but they all consider themselves Christians. Okay. So that's how the Hebrew Israelite is forming themselves. And let me tell you something that's scary about it. Why would Yah send a young man and his wife to my store way from North Carolina to try to talk to me about eating healthy? The young man came in and with the same thing that Yaqui is talking about. It's about what we should be eating, herbs and different things. Guess what? The reason why Yaqui is coming to rob his nation is because the things that Yaqui is using as medicine and herbs for the people, guess what? Only he can get them. So when he gets you addicted to taking this, or if you don't continue to take it, he can actually say you're going to end up dying. So what you going to end up doing? Having to buy the products from him constant. See, he playing the word game. And he always was that type of mindset, finding a way to manipulate his own people. But see, I can discern him. I know who he is, because that's the gift that Yah has embedded in me. And if I don't use it, I get in trouble. He said, what did I tell you to do, Deborah? Didn't I say, try the spirit by the spirit? Deborah, tell you what, use that gift I gave you, the gift of discernment. So I don't have no other way but to see it for what it is. So what Yaqui is trying to do is make himself like Dr. Sebi, to where he can get all this here, these products, and all the Negroes around the 4 corners order from him. Now, what's wrong with that picture? It ain't time to open up your store and get everybody healthy like you say healthy is. The greatest health is Yah. Yah is the only one can strip cancer, lupus, and any disease out of your body at a blink of an eye. You see? So y'all key is crossing y'all out totally 100. And they decide to come into a newfound religion, which I realized that's what that young man was coming to my store. He got so angry. Oh, he got so angry. I turned to his wife. I say, he turned around and told me I was teaching hate. And I turned around at his wife. I said, now you've been standing right here with him. I allowed him to talk. Then I talk. I allowed him to talk. And I talk. What did I say, or what impression did I give you, and you standing with him, that I am entitled to be called hate? She said, ma'am, nothing. So that crossed her husband out. You see what I'm saying? Because she know that what he just said was not what that woman was saying. So that's why when he didn't like that. Because now my wife ain't on my side and she just crossed me out. Yes, she is. She's crossing you out because you claiming this lady here listening to you, but just telling you, you be careful, bro, what you doing. Then he got to the point, guess what the man was about? This thing that Yaki is instilling in people to buy his products so he can be like Dr. Sebi, so then he can be rich and he get money and people can come to him like he's a god. Melly missed all that. He missed it all. That's what it's really about. That's what the war is really about. But see, Melly can't see that because Yaki set him up to be the fall guy while he continued to go traveling and selling the product, getting people addicted. Poor people, us, we the people. If you want to do something, just give it to the people free. Since you can get it to the people free. No, you don't want to do that because it's about you trying to be something that you are not, because Yah is going to shine the light on you, because he always do that. He went and bought land and went and bought all this land. You should have seen him on YouTube bragging all about it. And when it all turned around, 6 months later, you ain't hear him talking nothing else about it because he ain't got it. What happened? Showing them how they're going to build houses for everybody. And this, they build up a big height, and you should have seen it come crashing down. Yaki is bad at that. And that's who does that. He wants to be so much involved in something that has some detachment to money. But he's a spirit that will not obey Yah. So he's out of the picture. But before, it reminds me like a Lucifer in heaven trying to get the throne of Yah. And that's how he got kicked out. But see what is happening, Melly and everybody that's following Melly, it's going to get kicked out. They're going to get kicked out. And they just going to lose their lives because this is what they're doing. And it has nothing to do. And everybody that's against Melly, they ain't got good sense no way. But it's just the idea of everybody finding time to gangbang and not looking at the overall. Y'all causing the great falling away to be greater because people following you. That's why I tell you, I don't care who got 1 million likes. Anybody got 1 million likes, they causing 1 million people to fall in a pit of hell. It is what it is. Because anywhere there's a multitude, it's only for destruction, y'all. It is not for the narrow gate. But people don't care. Because people thinking that because someone got a lot of subscribers, they got to sell their soul, y'all. They got to sell out to get that. They got to represent the devil his way and sell themselves out to him. How do they do it? They don't give Yah's people any word. Remember Yeshua said, it is written that man don't live on bread alone, but every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah. What they do on this devil platform, they teach the bread and the bread only. They ain't giving you every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah that causes the people to run to the light, to desire to lay their head on Yah's bosom, to turn to what is righteous. The people don't even understand. But as I read here, Yah was showing me that even the righteous ones, they don't even understand his giving and gave was what they in this world call love. It was about giving and gave. Now, just imagine if we have that same spirit to give and gave, because now we know truth. That means you'll be extra blessed of Yah for these last evil days. You'll be extra blessed by Yah in these last evil days, because he chose you to reveal to you how you can represent him in the days of sorrow, in the days that we are actually in. Okay, so like I say, in Leviticus, what was that in? That was in Leviticus 26, 39. I read from 39, 38 all the way down to 40. And all he said, and they then accept of the punishment of the iniquity. These Negro men, you can hang it up. Women too, that's been on these devil platforms, they are not going to accept the punishment of the Most High Yah. They are not going to accept the iniquity of their forefathers and their iniquity. They are not going to accept their trespassing, which they trespassed against Yah. They are not going to do it. They are come all around you talking about Yah, but they are not going to touch this hymn nor this rim of what he said. And don't think he don't know it. That's why he said he's going to deal with the house of Israel, judge them first. And right now they're in the midst of a judgment. Okay, because after the 400 years, we have to somewhere at least look to the hill. Say, for instance, you don't do nothing else ever. You still got to look to the hill. That means having the hope that your Redeemer still live. That's all. We don't even have to do, but we don't want to do that. We're doing everything to turn us away from the light of Christ and the power of Yah. When he say they deny his power, he's for real. And I can tell you why. Same thing with this here. Same thing with give and gave. Same thing. They don't know the power. They do not know the power. So Sister Deborah is coming in a way that bring light to his power. His power is Christ. His power is the right hand, his right hand that was present at the beginning. When he said that, when he said us, he was talking to his right hand, his helper, his beloved, his only begotten, who came down with Yeshua to see this mission through. He needed what? This power. Sit here until I make the earth your footstool. How he was going to do that? With Christ, his right hand power. You see? They don't even know that. They don't even know that Christ is Yah's right hand. From the beginning of the Bible all the way to the end, you would never have an end to the right hand. And you say, oh, I can't believe this. The right hand and the stretched out arm is in the beginning all the way to the end. And nobody ever taught you. No one ever told you. No one ever ministered. No one ever taught it. No one ever taught love is to give and gave. The way love is today and was yesterday, I couldn't figure it out why these men was treating these women this way. Why was they selling their daughters off back in the days? You see? Because they used them the way that they felt fit. They didn't treat them and follow the protocol of the Most High Yah. And that's why today they want women's mouths closed and shut up, because they're trying to get you back to what yesterday was. They loved what it was yesterday. That's why so many men been raped. Our nation of men been raped big time. I'm gonna go on and say it. They've been raped just as much as women been raped. They was raped when they were little boys. Yes. So when you wonder why all this homosexual stuff is, that's where it's coming from. It's been going on. That's why you don't hear me bother no homosexuals. I don't talk about them, because everything originated from somewhere. And we can get to the core of where it come from and what it stands for and what it is, then we can teach the people exactly what took place. We want to talk about people turning gay and homosexual. We want to talk about all that, but what we don't understand, it's a curse that extended from way back. And when the father is connected to masturbating and fondling little boys, and then he turned around later on, get married, his first seed, if not his middle seed, it's going to be gay. Or it's going to be doing the same thing he did. See, we thinking that they just escaped. Oh, it's okay. It's just when women just sit around with their mouth closed and they see it in their house. Why do you think most of the women, when they, like here in St. Louis, I think it's about 8 babies were found dead in the last 2 months from girls turning their boyfriends over to babysit them. You should see this one guy. Was that baby 9 months? Toe up from the floor up when he finished with her. Knowing she was dead, you think he stopped? You can tell that's what he did. 9 months old pregnant, 9 months old baby from a girl. No, it was his daughter. I think they said it was his. I think he was young. He was in his 20s, and she's at work. That's how it always. The women, they say they got to go to work, but letting these men sit at home to do what their father did, and their father did, their grandfather did, their brothers did, and we as women run around with our stupid tails, running around here. Oh, we need a man. We want a husband. Learn who they are and be very cautious in who you get involved in just because you want somebody sleeping in your bed so you can take care of them, so you can feed them. Because as I passed by yesterday coming home, I turned all in areas and saw men all on the ground. You can tell at one time they had it going on, but what they are today, you women, be careful. It is nothing important about bringing a man in your house so you can take care of him and have him in your bed. It ain't worth it because you're dealing with a lot of mental state of minds. Men that has a lot of issues. They are not going to turn toward your Yah. They're not going to do the will of Yah. Those that's even got their right mind now don't even want to do the will of Yah. They're killing by great numbers, moms, dads. They're killing their children by great numbers. And no one is saying anything, but that the white man keep bothering us. I think that people on this devil platform, and if you choose to listen to them, that's on you. Let them feed you the bread that Yah said don't live. Yeshua told the enemy that man don't live alone, only on bread that proceed out of the mouth of man. You know, because the bread that proceeds out of Yah is living bread. Okay? It is the light and the way to truth. But this mess that they feeding y'all, if they are on these platforms and ain't leading you to see the light, you better run. I don't care how many subscribers they got, how many likes. Those are the ones that will bring you down into the great falling away. So I say unto you, as Leviticus 26 and verse 38. Listen to 38. Leviticus 26 and verse 38. And ye shall perish among the heathens. Who's going to tell me y'all done changed? He's going to let y'all stand out here, be on these devil platforms, talk about everything that containing to the world where the people cannot get the food for their spirit because you so busy trying to get your numbers up. So you figure I make topics that's going to get my numbers up, not to lead topics that's going to lead my people to the light. So watch this here. So verse 8 said, and ye shall perish among the heathens, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. They're doing that right now. We so caught up in everything that the heathen is doing and have totally forsaken truth of the matter. We're killing each other. I mean, really killing each other. George told me yesterday that a guy on his job told him he got in late because they had to stop the train because at the one point at a street, they had just had two young teenage boys. Then he tell me today that a daughter, I know you probably heard it on the news, 9 years old, and her mother was tied down to a chair and shot. Now, this is just not the only thing just happened. This stuff is all day long. And not one Negro woman nor man is willing to say, hold up, y'all. We got to get to the light. We got to call on the Most High Yah together. Those that are strong in this, we must walk together. It is out of control. Yah is judging us. You're not going to get not one Negro woman, no one Negro man that said they the Hebrew Israelite that would tell you and warn you where we are at. We are in the midst of a judgment. And it seems that to me, I'm like, okay, I thank him for steering me away from the YouTube to where I won't see all this violence because it's everywhere. It's all over. And how dare we get on this devil platform and make a mockery or make it like it ain't nothing's going on. That's where the scary part is at, because the more they ignore it, guess what? The more y'all gonna let the beast pressure down. You see? So while we running around here, know this. If he said it in Leviticus now, one of the books of the Torah, if he says in Leviticus 28:38, and ye shall perish among the heathens, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. 39, and they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity, in their iniquity, in your enemies' land, and also in the iniquity of their fathers shall they pine away with them. So we're going to die in our sins, y'all, right on this land. And I've been telling y'all that for about 2 years now. You ain't going nowhere. So you might as well look for the light and desire to walk therein. Not look for people to give you a message to every moment they drop a video, you up in there all, and they ain't saying nothing for your spirit, giving you nothing to energize you. But I'll tell you what, wait, hold up a minute. Hold up a minute. Watch that pressure change. Then all of you gonna be running, trying to get oil for your lamp. And y'all gonna know who you are. He was, what you want oil for now? I sent my prophet to tell you all, to warn you. I sent her to blow the trumpet 3 years. And they would rather make her wrong so that they can live right in the midst of this people giving them nonsense about the world. It's nothing wrong with hearing what's going on in the world, but believe it or not, you can hear all that on the news, radio, and everywhere. Why give somebody a check because they on here giving you their personal opinion? It's time to pick up your ladder, your lamp, so you can trim that lamp and be ready. Because the trumpet, I can't blow the trumpet. I can't blow the trumpet anymore, no louder than I have. And I think the Most High should just even allow me to blow the trumpet. Honestly. And even with the 10 virgin, first thing was blown was the trumpet. That's the person y'all used to warn y'all. Get your lamps together. Get yourself right. They start to trim their lamps. And then the ones that didn't have, after they were trimming them, they decided to go try to get some more. Because they asked those that had, can we get, no. You see, didn't even have the heart to share, because that's where the mind frame y'all gonna have them at. Because I didn't give you that oil for you to share with them because they refused to accept me. So I'm telling you all, be right with the Most High Yah. Get lined up in his love and his mercy and his grace. Start recognizing him. Start repenting for your forefathers and your sin, your iniquity, and your trespass, that how you are trespassed against Yah. Start accepting his judgment. Because sister telling we're in the midst of a judgment. But you're going to get wrapped up in that judgment. You're going to have that beast right hand up on you before you know it. So I say unto you, you all better try to find somewhere while you finding water, food, batteries, all kind of things. You better get yourself right with that light of Christ. And don't go to Yah without Yeshua HaMashiach. And a lot of things is going on with now denying this book. All of them starting to deny this. But let me tell you something. He said this. He said it. This was going to vanish. He said it. Why? Because he knew in their hearts they were going to do away with this. But you think he worried? No. He said heaven and earth. So that book can vanish too. I carry the blueprint in me. Ain't nothing going to fall until all is completed according to his will. So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you all enjoyed that message, and say unto you, it's all about the Most High Yah and the Most High Yah only. It's not about Deborah. It's not about YouTube. It's not about Facebook. It's not about Instagram, Patriot. That's real. That's another sad, sick soul right there. Is the beast informed another location so he can still chime in on what it's saying, knowing our thoughts. That's how ignorant Negroes really are. I think we are the dumbest people on the face of the earth. I really do. Because we're the only one has denied Yah in the way we have denied him. After all he has done right before our eyes, we have always denied him. I think you would have to be pretty dumb. So I, Sister Deborah, say to you, I'll be back. And I don't know what happened to my live chat. It did that yesterday, but it's showing the top chat, but it is that's all it's saying, which it shouldn't be saying that. So I don't know what happened, but I say unto you, I appreciate those who participate on coming and joining me on live, and I hope something I have said that will be with you, so you can use in your ministry that Yah is calling you to. But if it's something that you still question that Sister Deborah is saying, please take out time and do your study, okay, on the things that she's saying, okay? And know that the greatest thing is this here. Your study starts with Yah. So your study has to go into prayer and ask the Most High, who is this sister? What is she to you? And Yah will reveal. He's about what he's saying. He say what he's about. He would tell you who I am in him. So I, Sister Deborah, said to you, have a good night. Shalom and shalom.